Oh my God, we're getting bribed pretty hardcore. We better start.
Holy shit, 10 bits. That's like 10 cents, man. Somebody just dimed us out.
It's too perfect. You're supposed to start the music.
Oh, was I? Hello and welcome to the Ritual Misery Podcast, episode 166 for Thursday, the 22nd of March, 2017. I'm Amos. That's Kent, way the hell over there, because he's way over there. And I have some people with me right here. Kent, how are you? I'm gonna get these. They're in studio. See, right here and right here. They're in studio. I can make them wait. They've already driven all the way the hell out into the valley. I can make them wait. They can't go home anytime soon, but we'll get to that.
So I guess we're living in the past because you said that this is the 22nd of March, 2017. So wow, we're coming at you from a year ago.
Well, yeah, but then we also had the perfect intro, and I didn't record that either. So fuck it.
All right, so par for the course.
Yeah. Okay. So without further ado, because now everybody's looking at them, they're looking at the screen, and everybody's looking at them, going, "Who the fuck are these guys?" Right? We'll get to who the fuck are these guys. Who the fuck are you guys? Why are you in my house?
I'm Eric.
Dave Jocelyn.
And we're here with Remedy Alpine. So we're just here to share a little bit about what we do for veterans and hopefully give people an idea of what our program's about and
all right, Kent.
Our goal here in Alaska.
So
I'm here to hang out and drink a beer. I heard there was beer and I could drink it online. So
mission accomplished.
there we go.
Both of you are in the right place.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, our tagline is friends, geeks, veterans, parents, nerds, gamers. We don't get the veteran part of that often enough, and tonight is the night where we fulfill that obligation. But before we get to all that, because we like to make our guests wait, let's get to what the hell's been going on with you this week?
Oh God, besides work and all the crap that comes with that, dude, I am so excited about the new Pacific Rim movie coming up. I know I've talked about this a couple times. We talked at length about it a couple of episodes ago, I think. But yeah, Pacific Rim Uprising comes out tomorrow. Going to see it tomorrow. I had to watch the original one last night. It's not as good as I remember it being, but it's still giant monsters getting their asses kicked by giant robots, and that's all I fucking need. So
this is one of those things where, of all the things that you and I see eye to eye on, this is not one of them. And I will tell you that I am far more excited about the trailers than I am about the movie. And I say that having never seen the movie, so I understand there's some definite bias there. But the trailers are awesome. I just don't know if I could sit down for 2 hours and watch a movie.
Yeah, well, you need to get down with the kaiju. So,
how about you guys? Are you guys into the kaiju?
I'm into more like the Robotech stuff. Like I'm definitely on board with the robots, but I don't know, the whole robots versus like sea monsters, where they're coming from. I don't know. I saw the first movie, and I'll probably pass on this next one.
There you go. How about you?
Man.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
See, I like it, dude. You are outnumbered tonight. Like,
yeah, and you know, and that's fine. Actually, you don't need to watch the movie. All you need is a supercut of the fights, which is probably, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes worth of footage.
Yeah,
that's really all you need. You don't need the story.
Isn't Rihanna in the first one?
Unless she played a background character.
I don't know. I think she was in there. I think she was like one of the, I don't know, somebody. So I need a cut scene of the fights intermingled with just scenes of her.
Just any random Rihanna.
Yeah. Whether it's part of the movie or not, just throw a video in there and I'm good.
Sounds good.
That is not the only trailer that dropped out. The only trailer that you watched this week, though.
Dude, this morning Deadpool 2 dropped their trailer, and holy shit, it's X-Force. I cannot wait. This is going to be probably the movie of the year for me.
Yeah?
Calling it.
I didn't think it was coming out so early. It's actually coming out like in mid-May.
Yep.
It's like,
hell yeah.
It's the weekend before Star Wars drops.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's exactly a week before Star Wars, and I think that's a mistake on Fox's part. They should have done like everyone else did when they saw the release dates for Star Wars and Infinity War and moved their movie release dates. Not, and they're going to suffer.
Or is it a mistake for Star Wars to release 1 week after Deadpool?
Ooh, that interesting.
All right, tell me you guys are at least into Star Wars or Deadpool.
I'm actually into both.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, on both accounts.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. We're back on track. All right, so Deadpool 2, did you see the trailer?
I have not. I've been too busy working and commuting.
Well, we'll get to that.
No, not yet.
Oh my god. Okay, so we're gonna have to have a Deadpool trailer party after the show.
Oh, perfect.
Because I could watch it again. I woke up to it this morning. It was one of the little things that popped up in my little news feed, and I was like, Trump, Facebook, someone messaged you on Messenger. Holy shit, Deadpool 2, boop. So that's how my morning started, and yeah, it looks awesome. I don't know about the whole X-Force thing. Of course, again, I'm not a comic book guy, so I don't know anything about.
Unless it's Spawn.
And barely that even. Like I've only watched half the fucking Spawn movie.
Well, that's half more of a movie that you needed to watch.
I should have watched.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so we have alluded a few times to some traffic issues that we've had here. This is amazing. Well, so let me back it up a little bit. Back in September of 2006, there was a crane that left Pearl Harbor Naval Station and went down H1. It started tagging a few signs. Nobody paid attention. Tagged a few more signs. Nobody paid attention. And it hit a pedestrian walkway bridge over H1. Now, H1 is like the only vein of any worth in Hawaii. That's where all the traffic goes. Like 1 million people a day drive on H1. So when that bridge collapsed, part of it collapsed and they closed down the highway, it was insane how many people could not get home that night. And that looked a little like this right here. Oh, hey, it's not popping up. There we go. So that looked like this. You can see the damage to the bridge there. If you're watching, or if you're listening, basically there's like you can see the rebar coming out of the concrete bridge where this crane hit it. It's absolutely beautiful. And oh, hey, I just realized, Kent, I am not sending you any video.
Yeah, I realized that 20 minutes ago.
Well, but you didn't say it, which makes you the douchebag, not me. There
I'm
we
used
go.
to not getting video until right before we go live.
Fair enough. So this is what happened back in 2006 in Hawaii, and some Army guys were pulling this loader.
Well, it's got to be Army guys.
It was though. It was. Like,
yeah, you tell us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's the real reason why you're
touche.
here on the show.
Yeah.
Not my narrative. So yeah, they closed it down. They tore the bridge, this walk bridge down. It took like 9 months for them to repair it. It was beautiful. There's a picture of the traffic. It was insane traffic. Well, I've told you several times in the show how we only have one road. It's just one road that goes from here into Anchorage. There's a couple surface streets, but nobody wants to do that. And this happened. That is an 18-wheeler towing. It's hauling like a. I don't know what
It's
is
like
that.
a prefab kind of structure for like on construction sites.
Yeah, it's like yeah, exactly. It looks like a construction site trailer, little building or whatever they'd work out of, and the top of it is completely torn the hell off. And are you fucking kidding me? There we go. Ads. God, I hate ads. So there's there's the bridge itself. Again with the rebar and the concrete just kind of falling out, and yeah. So the delays going into work today, we're sitting at around 4 hours.
Oh my God.
Up to 5.5.
Yeah. The people that lived in Eagle River, that lived in the city where the crash happened, took 3.5 hours to get to work.
It took me an hour to go a mile from my house, and I turned around and went home. I didn't even bother.
1 mile an hour, people. 1 mile an hour. And of course, this brings up the debate. There's a long-standing debate here in Alaska about this bridge that goes over the channel or over the Knik Arm or whatever, that would essentially give us a second route. You go down Knik Goose Bay Road and way the hell down there, like forever down there, and then go some more. And then this bridge would actually put you back in the backside of Anchorage. Okay, so let's do that. Well, they just haven't done it. It's too much money. They don't have permission from the base, which the base never told them they didn't have permission. and these other issues. We have a train that goes from the valley into Anchorage. Why do we not have commuter train access? Why is that not a thing? I cannot understand this. It blows me away. Like, why do we not have a train that goes from Palmer into Anchorage? And like, you've heard of like BART in California, you know? Like, why don't we have that here? Imagine all the traffic. I would much rather drive over to Palmer and take a train into town than drive every day.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fucking stupid. See, they don't understand either. Like, it's completely beyond all comprehension.
Because the thing is that you're not in a major metropolitan area. In the U.S., unless you're in a major metro, Americans don't understand trains. Train? Shoot train? You know?
Chuga chuga. Yeah, God, it just pisses me off so bad. Like, it's things like that. The things that... The things that make a lot of sense but don't actually get done. I'm trying to adjust my light here because I look like shit, but that's not unusual.
It probably comes down to money. It probably doesn't make financial sense for whoever the operator of that would be. They wouldn't get enough government incentive to make it worthwhile.
Okay, first of all, government incentives can suck my ass.
Yeah, so
I'm not even going to give you my dick. Like, go around and suck the ass because government incentives just piss me the hell off.
Yeah, so that, I
and
mean,
then we're going to talk to these guys about how they're getting government incentives to help veterans. Which is just going to make me feel like shit here in about 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
So, how long did it take you to get to work today, Eric?
It took me about 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. And how long does it usually take you?
Like 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
About 10 miles.
2.5 hours. Again, he lives in Eagle River. Like, he has a shortcut. He's 2/3 of the way in. So I didn't go to work today. I worked from home. I checked some emails, and that's all that happened.
Yeah, right on. I wish I could work from home.
Yeah, except you can't classify your room, so there's that. Get a little
classify it something. But,
put a little skiff in the backyard.
Yeah, for some reason I don't think that's gonna happen.
For the non-military types, the SCIF, I think it stands for Secure Classified Information. Fuck you, I don't want to work there. I'm pretty sure that's what SCIF stands for. So,
yeah, not a single letter matched up.
Look, we're just here making shit up. If you like to make shit up, you can go over to ritualmisery.com and hit the little Patreon button or hit patreon.com/ritualmisery. And there's lots of ways you can make shit up over there. We're making shit up all the time. There's all kinds of gifts and rewards and stuff like that over there. And we are not fulfilling any of them quite yet because Kent's a douche. And you can cruise on by there. If you give a fuck about the show, give $1 to the show and call it a day. Kent, what do you got to say about Patreon?
Yeah, I mean, we're not fulfilling all of the things. Some of the things are getting fulfilled, like early release of episodes, things like that to the patrons. It's just the things that I'm responsible for that we're sucking at. So give us another $1 or $2 and I'll make sure to do it faster.
Or do it at all. Just at all would be great.
Yeah. Well, we'll start there. Yeah, that's patreon.com/ritualmisery. Dude, I'm real curious. You've got these two strangers in your house, and I still haven't figured out what Eric and David.
Okay, wait. You're already starting on the wrong trail, man. You're already look. He's cool. Like, met him, dude's cool. This guy right here. This I can't even point to the right there. Yeah, Matt, get your face lined up with my finger, fucko.
What is happening right
Not
now?
the first time he's heard that. He's kind of a weirdo. He gives me the creeps inside in my special place.
Okay.
But that being said, what do you guys do? What is Remedy Alpine? Why are you involved with it? How did all that come up? And information, go.
All right.
That's my interview skills in studio.
Yeah, nicely done. So I'll start. So let's go back about a year. I had been working for a veteran organization called Warrior Project, and was really trying to find ways to engage a lot of our veterans here in Alaska. Wanted to find something that was meaningful, impactful, And I'd been taking out a lot of my friends out on the trails, especially guys coming back from combat, and just found it was like really a sense of like decompressing, getting away from all the static noise, all the background, and really kind of being in tune with nature. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but here we are in Alaska. We have the highest per capita veteran population. We have access to some of the best trails that I've ever seen, and we weren't taking advantage of it. So I met David through Wounded Warrior Project and kind of found out we had similar interests, and he's got an extensive background in the backcountry, which I'll let him talk about. And I just said, hey, I have this plan. I'd love to take some veterans out and just do backpacking trips. And he had actually already been doing something very similar up in Fairbanks where he was stationed at. And so we kind of linked up, bounced some ideas, found that we had almost the same ideas, and just kind of ran with this program. So I'll let David kind of take over and give you a little more example of what he was doing up in Fairbanks in the start.
So, yeah, thanks, Eric. So when I was up in Fairbanks, so there's a combat medic in the Army and a mountain climber. I was a mountaineer for the military, and I recreationally climbed. And one of the things that I always had a challenge with was finding a new climbing partner. It's always difficult to pick and choose that one person that you're willing to trust your life with a half inch of rope on. And so I had this idea that if I just created a climbing club, people gravitate towards me, and then I could pick and choose who I climbed with. It kind of worked out well.
It's the same as podcasting.
Yeah, right. So I developed a great lifelong friendship with my climbing partner, Adam Miracle, I think is watching the cast right now. And for 4 years, we ran an organization called Fairbanks Area Mountaineers, where we hosted trips to the backcountry, hiking, rock climbing, ice climbing. And then at the time that I was getting retired from the military, Adam PCS'd, and we kind of broke up with each other and went our separate ways. And
just like podcasting.
Right. So when Eric and I linked up and started sharing ideas, I shared my experience with Fairbanks Area Mountaineers, and we decided that, maybe we could do this as a recreational therapy program specifically for veterans. I know for me as a veteran, when I'm out in the mountains, it's peaceful. It's calming. My phone doesn't ring because there's no goddamn cell service out there. As much as I love them, I don't hear my kids argue. So it's a place for me to kind of ground myself and center myself. So we bumped heads together about a year and a half ago. And then all of a sudden there was this momentum last summer, right around Labor Day weekend. And within 2 weeks, we went from it being just an idle concept to, for some way we worked out logistics. We got some sponsorships to help back us. We planned a trip, and we took 2 veterans through Crow Pass, which is a 27 mile hike. We did it over 3 days. I know there's some of the ultra crazy people that will do it in a single day, and I'm not about that. So we did it over 2 nights. It starts in Girdwood, and you hike the pass through the mountains to Eagle River Nature Center here. And knowing that we're dealing with a population of people that have injuries, we set a good pace to where it was enjoyable, and we weren't just breaking off, Joe the way we did it in the
Still
Army.
comes out to about 9 miles a day, though. That's
ish. Yeah, not too bad. So, and there's a nice river crossing that was really actually kind of an anticlimactic event. We were expecting this rapid torrent, like waist deep water, and we got there. We were like, are you shitting me? Fucking just walk. So, but as we were planning this and getting to the execution phase of it, the community here was phenomenal. The support that we received, the backing from the VFW, from the Elks, from Wounded Warrior Project, Alaska Healing Hearts, REI, the North Face store here in Anchorage, and that was a shout out to everybody. It was overwhelming and kind of made us take a step back. We realized we had something that had gravity and that had a chance to be a legitimate program. So we kind of put the brakes on a little bit. We formed a legitimate organization, filed our papers with the state, got a business license, and started developing a business plan and working towards how can we actually make an impact in the veteran community? How can we take our experience with the military, our experience with helping other veterans? Eric did a great job the time that he worked with the Wounded Warrior Project. My background as a combat medic, our shared passion for the outdoors. How can we combine that into a program that we can get veterans out in the mountains and help them decompress? So that's what we're doing. And that's what we're kind of all about is two veterans giving back to the veteran community, trying to just help a brother and sister out and enjoy the mountains while we're doing it.
That sounds absolutely amazing.
Turn the mic.
I just want to add just some key points too, is that our whole idea with this program is that it's at no cost. So our veterans are coming out and signing up and doing these hikes with us. They're not spending a dime. I mean, we're providing, whether it's through, like we gave some of the shout outs, but like REI providing the gear for us at no cost to take out. I mean, we went and did an overnight when it was -5. We were comfortable. We had tents. We had -20-degree bags. We had a group of veterans, of warriors that were having the time of their life just being out there as a group. So it's at no cost. It's making sure that veterans are getting a chance to go out there. I mean, we did that overnight or 2 nights out at Crow Pass. One of the guys was medevaced in 2012 with a broken back and paralyzed. And he recovered from that, was able to do that hike with us. It was his first real hiking experience since that kind of an injury. So
That's
really
awesome.
Yeah.
Kent, you had a question?
No, I was just commenting. This sounds absolutely amazing, and the fact that it's free of charge to the veterans is absolutely amazing. Another thing that I really liked that you had pointed out, David, was that you are able to find inner peace out there. A lot of veterans, as I'm sure a lot of people know by this point, a lot of vets come back with PTSD. Or issues, things going on in their heads that they don't know how to, how to deal with it successfully. And things like this are the outlets that a lot of these guys need. Because just going to see a shrink, that can be helpful, but that's not the cure. And I think things like this are so important to veterans that I want to, as a vet myself, I want to say thank you guys for putting this thing together. This is absolutely awesome.
Did technically do that right? Yeah, I spun the mic. All right, so, and not to make it about me for a second, but you bring up a great point, and the issues with post-traumatic stress in the veteran community is a major issue that we're trying to work on. As a combat medic with a deployment to Iraq and a deployment to Afghanistan. My job was to deal with the worst of war, the deal with the worst parts of humanity that warfare can bring out. So I struggle and I deal with post-traumatic stress issues myself. So there's some self-centered issues here too, because it's my therapy. And as a combat medic, my whole job, my whole life was taking care of my warriors. So this allows me a chance to still kind of troop the line, to take care of soldiers and to help veterans, which is what my job was all about. So it kind of feeds that doc niche that I have to still want to take care of people, and allow me some peace and comfort. But you're absolutely right. It's something that, it's the Agent Orange of the new war, there was, every generation of war fighter had their own post-traumatic issues. They just call it shell shock. They just kind of ignored it in the 60s and 70s. And, it's something that needs to be talked about. It needs to be on the forefront of conversations. And we need to be finding new, more innovative ways to deal with it other than just, better living through chemistry and the life of pharmacology. That's really not the best way to take care of veterans. That's why Eric and I kind of put our heads together, and this is what we've come up with. And we're hoping to make an impact.
I'm going to add that just a little bit. PTSD is not always combat related. Sometimes it's just stress related. It's just being put in a situation that you are either ill prepared or just flat out incapable of mentally processing for an extended period of time that just wears down and kind of seats in some deep mentality issues that can really set in there. And I think a lot of times we talk about PTSD, we're talking about combat. We're talking about shell shock as like explosives and things like that. There's a lot of forms of PTSD. Kent, I'm surprised you don't have it because of your situations where you've been and stuff like that. But I know I have it.
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with some issues like that. I think at this point in my life, I'm far enough removed that I don't think I'm dealing with a lot of that stuff anymore. But in the couple of years after my last couple of deployments, I did deal with some things, and I think with me, I probably dealt with them in unhealthy ways. Being by myself and trying to process things alone was probably not the best way to do it. Luckily, like I don't think I'm suffering, at least on a daily basis. I don't think I'm suffering from PTSD today. But I think in the beginning, I would have benefited from a program like Remedy, like Remedy Alpine, or a similar program. I'm in love with this concept. This is just great.
Well, and you're sorry to jump in. Your point about not always being combat related kind of segues into, Eric talked about one of our key foundations is, we don't charge veterans. But then we don't limit just to combat veteran. Our programs, if you wore a uniform and you served your country, whether National Guard, reserves, active duty, that's our target market. We realize that it takes everybody to fight the war, whether you were downrange actually facing the enemy one-on-one, or whether you were in the rear with the gear providing support, pushing packages of bullets and beans over to us. You're part of the effort. So we're not just for the combat veteran. We're not just for Army guys. I liked the Air Force. They gave us rides when we wanted to go fight.
And took less time than the Navy.
That's right. It's just to take care of the entire veteran community. We don't like to discriminate. If you didn't go fight, well, fuck that shit. If you were a veteran and you served your country, let's get out in the mountain and have some fun. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
I have a separate mic. It's fancy too.
I wised up and gave Eric his own mic. This is where the pre-show would have been very helpful had it not been squandered away.
2 guests, 2 mics. That's
yeah. It's an amazing thing. Okay, so let me ask you, what do you have planned for the future? Like you've done some hikes and things like that, and you kind of got some. What's next? Where do you go now? What's in the future of Remedy Alpine?
Are you talking about like as an organization, or like some of the trips we've got planned?
Both. Short-term, long-term business plan, like.
Well, I'll tell you, like my goal would be.
It's directional. You need to be like right there. There you go. Okay.
My goal.
Mic Technique 101. Hey, it's just like podcasting.
Hey, so my goal would be that as an organization we become successful enough to where we can actually provide outings for a lot of the tourists that come in, but we start employing these veterans. The veterans are coming out with us on the hikes that have a passion for it. Mm-hmm. Maybe in a couple of years, we're able to actually provide like jobs for the veterans to go out and do these outings for clientele. So, there's always all these opportunities. It's just where we kind of decided where we're going to go with it.
Right. And so for right now, there's some challenges like any new upstart organization that we're working through. Eric works full-time. I work full-time. Remedy Alpine's kind of a side gig for us, but a side gig with a passion.
I'm about to retire.
There you go. We might be hiring. So, and right now, because of that, we're limited to Alaska. As I mentioned earlier, one of our board of director members, Adam, who's at Fort Huachuca in Arizona, hopefully I think he's watching. We're hoping to expand and not just be limited to this military populace here. You mentioned business plan. One of the things that we want to get to is being a self-sufficient veteran community organization. There's a lot of veterans charities and a lot of veteran activity organizations out there. And I'm not knocking them, but a lot of them get funded by doing this. They have to stand there with their hand out. We've developed a business model that once we get off the ground, should make Remedy Alpine self-sufficient. One of the other things that we want to get into other than recreational therapy with the veterans, is to get into between Eric and I, we have 35 years of backcountry experience in mountain climbing and backcountry hiking. We want to get into doing product testing and gear reviews for major product manufacturers. We want to produce those gear test reviews, get a brand new backpack from North Face or Mountain Hardware, take it out in the backcountry and beat the shit out of it for 3 days, videotape all that and put a pretty good production YouTube video together, or whatever social media channel together, and develop advertising revenue that helps fund the programs. That way,
I was really thinking, man, I smell a podcast until you started talking about advertising revenue. there's none of that here.
Yeah. So, and there's, some other things that we're looking at to try to develop revenue streams to where we don't have to just stand there with our hand out. If we can be self-sufficient, then we can actually plan the trips that we want to do with veterans and not get into, well, we wanted to do 2 trips a month this year, but we have to scale back during the winter months and only do one every other month because there's just not money for it.
Right.
A lot of veteran support organizations, they have great intent, but then they execute really quick, and then the revenue streams dry up, and it's like they're not really that active anymore because they're still looking for money. Mm-hmm. That or they spend time doing donor searches and philanthropy efforts to fund them versus time out in the wilderness or whatever their program is with the veterans. So I'd prefer to do something that allows me to play with mountain toys and have fun with the mountains in the veteran community than have to go to charity benefits and ask for money. I'm bad at begging for money. So
we're not. Ritualmisery.com. Click on the Patreon button.
Nice plug, David.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And Eric, what do you want to add to that?
So some of the exciting, I'm like eating this microphone.
No. It's designed to be eaten. It's tasty.
So, some of the exciting trips we're planning, we're hopefully going to bring on board is going out to like base camp Denali, bringing a group of veterans out there, maybe helping out with base camp and helping some of the other hikers that are on the way up, kind of get them out there and just to see like, hey, here's the pinnacle of what we can do here in Alaska. David mentioned to me a couple months ago about going to Tordrillo Mountains, which is about 65 miles.
Yeah. So beautiful mountain range to the west of Anchorage that creates this beautiful mountain skyline. Well, it's 65 miles away. It's the Tordrillo Mountains. There's some 12,000 foot peaks out there, and they hardly ever get touched.
Like some of the heli skiing stuff that goes on out there.
Yeah.
When you take some veterans out there and do some exploration. I mean, we've got other veterans that are willing to work with us that have pilot's licenses. They do have their captain's license, so they want to go out on a boat, do something. There's just a lot of possibilities out there. And again, we're just trying to make this all happen, but not too fast. We really had to slow down the pace because, we had the VA wanting to start referring people to us. Hey, I got 10 guys I can send you out your way next week. Well, we don't have the program up yet. We don't want to just deliver a sloppy program. We don't want to have something that we're just kind of winging it last minute. We need to take the time, do it right, and be successful at it.
Well, apparently we're having some mic issues, which that is not unusual for this podcast. So this is going to be a fun one to edit over the next probably 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, no, I think it's just what's going out through OBS is.
Are you hearing it, Kent?
I'm hearing it fine.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Then it's recording somewhere.
Yeah. So go to patreon.com/ritualmisery. You can get this episode tomorrow. My gosh. Check. No, that's awesome, guys. It sounds like you guys have a good plan, not just a good idea for a program, but you've actually taken some time, made some intelligent decisions to make this a long-term success. And I think that's just as important as having a good idea for a program.
By all count, all the dials are turned to 11. So, literally turned to 11. There's a few other things. Now, before we close this out, I have a couple questions for you guys specifically. What is the most treacherous hike you've been on personally?
I'll start.
In America or in another country?
Anywhere. Anywhere that you can talk about.
Yeah, I want to hear worldwide.
America.
Yeah.
Those pussy mountains?
No, there was a mountain mission we did in Afghanistan through Suno Valley in November 1st of 2008 that was, we air assaulted to a mountaintop, and I led a 4,000 foot down climb into a valley where we were intending on sweeping and killing some villages down there. But although they don't have power, they had fucking cell phones, and somebody called in and told them that we were coming. So it was just really a 36-hour walk through the mountains with no engagement. So, but it was the down climb everyone fell. And we measured, you measure fall by a flapper. So if you flap your arms, that's a one flapper. So most people took like a two flapper, at least one way, part of the way down the mountain. And, but yeah, it was physically exerting, mentally grueling. We expected a lot more than what we got, and we just got a nice walk is all it was.
The disappointment of the lack of combat.
I know, right? Oh, that's an Army guy for you.
Yeah. All right, Eric. Give us your impressive story.
So I don't have a very impressive story.
Kasugi Ridge is probably
I'm
pretty
at this
good.
stage in my life where my wife is very adamant about, hey, don't do that hike. That's going to be too much. No, you can't do Denali one day. No, so I get a lot of no's. But
That's why they're called women, because it's like, whoa, man, no, don't do that.
Whoa, man, you're not.
Probably one of the most technical and challenging. It was because of the weather. It was Kasugi Ridge. It's about 50-mile hike that's right across from Denali Mountain Range. So like the whole hike, you can see the mountains. But on that particular trip that I went on, it was a torrential downpour. I couldn't see like 10 feet ahead of me. I was trying to navigate, weaving around to the trails with like water rushing down the trails, getting soaked at night, trying to stay dry. I mean, it wasn't that it was dangerous, it was just miserable. But I'll tell you, when I finished that, got to the trailhead, and I finished that hike, it was still the best hike I had done. So that's the one great thing about when you do these. You know, it's grueling, it's miserable at times, but when you finish, you get done, you just feel like you just accomplished something.
Suno Valley wasn't the best hike I did.
Those were different circumstances, it's true.
Oh.
Let me ask you, so with all your outdoor experience, what's the most dangerous trek you've done? Either of you?
Well, I don't have a particularly vicious mountain hike that I can talk about, but when I was in South Korea, I went on a brewery tour and then climbed a mountain immediately afterward to eat bugs. It was this like height sponsored tour thing that I went on. And I would say that at the level of inebriation that I was at when we walked up this mountain, that probably made it dangerous.
Oh, wow. I would say that the most dangerous trek I've ever gone on, oh, you know what? This bug's for you, according to BioCow.
Right.
Patrick Middiff and I hiked from Fowler, Indiana to Oxford, Indiana one night. We started at about 15 minutes before I was supposed to be home, and we got home about 6 hours after I was supposed to be home. That was in junior year of high school. So I'm going to say that was probably the most treacherous one. But the funnest one was going up to the notches on Oahu, going up, doing a geocache all the way up there at the notches, which is at the top of the Pali Pali Pass. No, not Pali Pali. Yeah.
Poly,
No, it was at the top of the Pali Pali Pass on Oahu. And I didn't get to the geocache because I was wearing Skechers, and Skechers aren't so good at climbing rocks on ridges. It was great for going through the forest though, because it's nice and soft. But as soon as it started getting to where I was actually having to climb rocks, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, they're coming out with a new technical line. No, they're
Skechers?
not. No.
Did you have like the shape up Skechers?
No, it wasn't that bad. They were they were just really, really thin on the bottom, and yeah, not so good. It was almost like those finger shoes or those toe shoes almost, because they were just like no sole left on the bottom. They were my favorite shoes, and they got thrown away after that day. So you go up there and there's like a ridge that you climb down or climb across, and then you climb up to the notches, and there's these notches that are cut in like battlements or whatever from whenever Oahu was being, I would say civilized, but it's barely that now. And they would shoot the arrows down or whatever, and you have to climb up the rocks to get there. And I was thinking, yeah, I could climb up, but coming down, you have to stop on this ridge. It's like 4 inches wide, and it's like it's not rock, it's dust that hasn't fallen yet. And I was like, no, this is not happening. So that's a geocache I didn't get. I didn't mark it as a not find because I didn't actually look for it. So I'd say that was my most treacherous one, because coming down from there was not fun. I know nothing. I didn't face anything more than mosquitoes, so nothing too exciting.
Yeah, well, neither did David on his example. So.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Hey man, there's a lot of other things we have going on. Kent, you forecasted this one out while we were at South by. You were telling me how in just a few short years we're going to have subscriptions for self-driving cars, and they're going to be showing up everywhere, and we're just going to pay a car payment. That car payment is going to be some automated car, some level 5 automated car driving to our house. And I was like, yeah, that's bullshit, man. We don't have a car subscriptions yet. You got to get that first.
Dude, right. We're going to have Johnny Cabs. Like everybody knows we're going to have Johnny Cabs. That's going to be a thing. Uber's been testing them for a couple of years. It's coming. That's not even a question. But I've been postulating for a while, and it's not an original idea. I've heard a lot of other people talk about things like this.
Right.
Just like how we have Netflix, right? We don't buy DVDs anymore. We either, if we're gonna buy the movie, we get it through Amazon streaming. Typically, though, we just pay our $10 a month for Netflix, and we can just watch TV. Mm-hmm. And I've been saying for a while that this is how it's gonna be with cars. We're not gonna spend $27,000 for a car anymore. We're just gonna pay $100 a month or something, and just get a ride, get an Uber.
How about $300 a month?
Or that.
Because that's what Lyft is doing in certain markets right now. Between $199 and $300 a month, you just get rides. It's like a stamp card, and it's just wherever you want to go. So I thought that was really interesting that right after you had said something about it, that showed up. I had to mention that because all it needs now is automation, and of course that's not going to happen anytime soon because they just hit somebody in Arizona. Just killed
okay. So one pedestrian walked in front of a car and died, versus the probably dozens that walked in front of manned vehicles and died.
Right. No, but
on the same day. But
it's a matter of highlighting the thing that's in front of you, though.
Yeah. No, I mean, this does point out though that the technology does need further tweaking, which everyone already knew. But it's
or just a person in the car that's paying attention, not sitting on his phone.
Sure. I mean, we're gonna get to the point where you can just sleep in the back while Johnny Cab takes you where you're going. That's gonna happen.
You're all about the Johnny Cab. I don't want to. I don't want a fake person in the front turning around and talking to me while the machine is driving. I don't.
That's creepy.
I can see one as a novelty, like when these automated cabs are a thing. Like I can see it being announced at South by Southwest with a Johnny Cab promotional thing.
Okay, so again, speaking of South by Southwest, man, the bombings that were going on there while we were leaving.
Yeah.
Glad to see that came to a resolution.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm kind of glad the way that it came to a resolution. Actually, that just seems fitting.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it justice, you can call it irony, you can. There's a bunch of different ways that you can frame it.
I call it satisfying.
I'm not one normally to celebrate someone's death, but I'm definitely glad that he was caught. Not captured in this case, but I'm glad that he was caught and that's over, because that was kind of scary when we were about to leave the city on the day that the two bombs happened in a day.
Right, one like a mile and a half north of us, and then 1 mile south of us.
It's always good when the FBI can just scoop up another criminal, though. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
In this case, I think they just shook the car and poured him out.
Yeah.
But as I was saying, it was a little bit scary for us, and we were just on our way to the airport where if you lived there, this was a couple of weeks of
as Crunchy said, package thefts were down like 98%. So
yeah, well, always a silver lining.
Yeah, she said that on Twitter, and I had to laugh. I thought that was hilarious. Hey, is it next week we have the Mulaka guys on, Lienzo?
Is it next week? I don't think it's next week. I think it's at some point in April, but indeterminate at this moment.
I think it's next week. Anyway, their first game, Hunter's Legacy, is currently 60% off on the Steam store.
Hell yeah, dude. I bought that thing 2 days ago, I think. $2.79. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is an awesome platformer. This is such a great game, dude. You're a cat. A warrior cat, and you go around just killing shit, jumping around like a Mario or Mega Man style, like an NES style platformer. The game's cool as shit. It's $2.79.
It's almost a sin not to own it at that point.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, it was priced fairly low, regular price, but 60% off, dude. Yeah, like everybody go over there. There's gonna be a link in the show notes.
And if you haven't bought Malacca, there's a problem with your head. Like it's if you are on Steam and you don't have Malacca, just go get it. Just get it, play it. It's actually I find it really fun to drink like 3 beers and then try to play. Because the graphic style really fucks with my head while I'm drinking.
No, when I'm 3 beers in and I play Malacca, I spend all my time talking to the people and trying to find ghosts and shit like that. Like I'm not even going for the game objectives.
You're just going through storyline, like really circulating the storyline.
Yeah, I keep talking to the kid that's like throwing the rocks and stuff like that.
So no shit, real story. I was about 3 beers in. And I was playing the second stage. And the second stage, there's this one building that's really tall. And you have to get inside. There's like there's like a little icon or some shit inside the building. Like, you have to get in there. Okay, fine. There's this little kid that's like standing there that's like trying to talk to you. And I'm like, shut up. Just shut up. Why are you here? Just get out of here. You're in my way. I'm trying to run and jump. And no shit. Spent like 30 minutes trying to jump in this fucking video games. Only to find out that little kid opens the door for you.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
Well, it's like in the first stage with that fucking turkey or whatever it is that you have to catch it in order to jump up on top of the whatever that is, the rock thing.
Yeah, and immediately you have to catch it. Like, it's just intuitive that you have to catch it. But the 3 beers in is not a time to catch a turkey in real life or in a game. I'm telling you that right now.
Right.
Curtis LaRock says I should stop hating kids. Go back to the pre-show. There's
yeah, I don't know if that was that. Were we live yet?
I don't know. Do you guys know the difference between a crow and a raven?
It's the shape of the tail feathers.
How about you, Mike?
Nope.
No? Okay. So how can you tell according to the shape of the tail feathers?
I'd have to go back to the Anchorage Zoo and read the sign. That's all I can remember. It was that memorable.
Okay, so
one of them can have 3 eyes, and the other one can't.
This is one of the things where I knew they were ravens that were up here. Like, there's a huge raven population up here. They're trying to eat all your food when you pull out a Taco Bell and everything else. Like, that's what they do. They yell at you, they scream at you, they chase you in the parking lot. Like, they're not fucking around birds. They're serious birds. And I knew they were ravens, but I didn't know how to prove that they were ravens. So one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to find out what the difference between a fucking crow and a raven is. So I found out. And I'm gonna show you this real quick if it comes up. I forgot to bring it up pre-show. There's a lot of shit on here. But there's let's see here. Let's bring this up. The difference between a raven and a crow. So this, let's see here, top left. This is a raven. This is a crow. So you can see that the raven kind of fans his tail feathers out a lot. The crow is more like a paddle, if you will. And then down here is a raven, and this is a crow, and the raven's whiskers are longer. The thing that got me, though, was that this map right here, which is just amazing. Here, I'm going to show you this as well. This map, there ain't no crows up here. There ain't a goddamn crow in Alaska. There's ravens everywhere.
Like crows just tend to just be in Canada.
Yeah.
Only Canada.
So there's 2 kinds of crows, and this is important because, well, I don't like talking shit and not knowing that I'm speaking the truth. I've been telling the family all this time, like, yeah, that's a raven. This map just kind of proves that I was talking out of my ass, but I was right. So I guess that's effective, right?
So in Indiana, when we had scarecrows, should they have actually been called scare ravens?
No. Ravens are typically more city bound than they are in the wilderness. Crows are more wilderness animals.
So do you know what a group of crows and a group of ravens are called?
A group of ravens is called a murder, and a group of crows is a group.
The Night's Watch.
Yep.
You're pretty fast at that Google.
Actually, that's actually on this page. It's down at the bottom here somewhere.
Murder of Ravens and a Congress of Crows.
Congress of Crows. Yes. Yeah.
Very fitting for Washington, D.C. So
Yeah. That was one of the things that I was surprised by. It fits. We can talk about Congress, right? We just can't talk about the president.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Although the lines are getting blurred, especially lately. They're very. Oh God! If you're into politics at all, I wish you to listen to the Jury Politics podcast, because he takes a very funny look at things, but still keeps you semi-informed. And I say semi-informed because there's so much stuff going on right now. There's no way you can keep track of all of it without listening to like 10 different podcasts.
The headline show and
Oh my God, yeah, it's kind of stupid. All right, hey, let's wrap things up with this right here. We don't have a TED Talk this week, but I'm going to go ahead and hit the button because it's just about the same. If I can find the button, there's the button. Yeah, you heard that, didn't you? Live stream people. This is. Go ahead, Ken. I'll let you do the intro here.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say there. So my oldest son actually pointed this video out to me. I don't know, a few days ago. It was earlier this week. There's this guy that has been to every country on the planet, like all 195 of them, or however many there are. What sets him apart, even from that small group of people, is that he is one of the youngest, if not the youngest, to travel to every country on the planet. Well, he's got this 12-minute video, 12 and a half minutes or something, where he makes one statement about every country that he has visited.
He recalls a memory from every country.
Right. He's got these little flashcards that the interviewer, I guess, or the filmmaker, if you will, I don't know, hands him these
or his mom
flashcards, right? So each one has a different country on it. He pulls up a card, and then he will tell you, like, usually just one sentence, something that he remembers about that country. Next card, another sentence. Next card, another sentence. And it is fascinating to listen to this guy talk about his experiences. And during the entire video, they flash, just quick images. Sometimes it's a picture of him. Sometimes it's just like a picture of like an iconic cultural thing from that country. And man, I am fascinated. This guy is now one of my heroes. Like, I want to do this. I want to go to every country. And it's just amazing to me, just the diversity on our planet. Not just in, we tend to think of, like anthropologically, like racial background and things like that when we talk about diversity, just cultural diversity. So, you've got like probably, 60 countries that are white people, and they're all different. Like they all are significantly culturally different. You probably got 80 countries that are black people, and they are all 100% unique and different. And it is so fascinating to me, and I want to be this guy.
The thing that I thought of when I was watching this video, and you guys are just seeing this for the first time. So he's been to 193 countries. I've been to, 15, 20, maybe.
Yeah, and I think I'm somewhere in the 30s, like low 30s.
I'm pretty sure I'm in the dozen club. You know what I mean? Like I'm definitely not over 20. Definitely not over 20. Yeah. And I can probably give you a memory of some of them. I would do
specifically to drink.
Yeah, that's. The better the drink, the worse the memory. I could probably do this for the states because I've been to like 43 states or something like that, something stupid. Where are you guys sitting on the country state count?
Yeah, probably about the dozen club. I don't have to sit and count, but yeah, it's more than 10, less than 20 ish. Yeah.
I'm sitting right about like 20, just above the dozens range.
I would have laughed my ass off if he'd been like, I'm at one. Like
that's how a lot of Americans are.
Yeah. I'd be willing to say that most Americans are at the one club.
Yeah, well, yeah. Not only that, I would say that we're probably like 50% of the country hasn't even been out of the state that they were born in.
Especially Alaskans. Holy shit. There's so many Alaskans that have never left Alaska. Like, you don't understand what a city is.
I've seen them on TV.
Yeah. Anchorage is a mid-sized town. Like, it's 300,000 people. It's like Lafayette, you know? It's not even Indianapolis, which is in and of itself not a big city.
Right. Yeah.
And how many of those dozen or so, or maybe 20 countries would you be able to recall the memory of on a dime?
More than half.
And mine all tend to blur together because I just remember an Irish pub in each of them. And then knocking back a few. I don't know why that is, but every country you go to, I always find myself at an Irish pub.
Have you ever been to Ireland?
Actually, no. And yet I was over in England for 8 years. I never made that trek.
It would have been amazing if you'd been to Ireland but had never been to a pub or you went to like an American pub in Ireland, you know?
Right.
So my wife's watching because she's been blowing up my phone. And she would get frustrated to share this, but 50 Irish pubs in 2 countries in 4 days.
Oh my God. That's heroic.
Manhattan, train trip up to Montreal, watch the Rangers Canadians game in Montreal, 2 nights in Montreal, hit every Irish pub up there, back to Manhattan, 4th all-nighter, came home. She knew that I was okay because of my drunk Facebook uploads. That's why I'm still grounded for that trip. It was like 3 years ago.
Never and you know the bad problem is, right? Like you tagged her in one of those, just one. Tagged her
I
in
don't
one.
know if I tagged her.
But every year on the anniversary, it reminds her of that picture. Because it's like, remember this from 1 year ago? She's like, ah!
This reminds me of my first South by because I was so concentrated on seeing all the new people and drinking drinks, and I drank a lot of drinks, and I was uploading shenanigans to Twitter, but I forgot to text my girlfriend, and she texted me like I looked at my phone one time, I had like 7 texts or something like that, all from her like, where are you? What the fuck are you doing? Are you okay? And my drunk ass responded to the text with, did you check Twitter?
So I just got it. You're still in trouble on the.
Yeah. I mean, Kent's still on Twitter, but he texts his girlfriend a lot more at South by.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
You know,
I texted her more than I tweeted, I think.
The best part is all of your memories of that first South by are on Twitter.
Yeah,
because
pretty much.
It's only by Twitter that you remember them at all.
Yes, that is accurate. That is 100% correct.
Oh man. Let's see. I've like I said, I've been to over 40 states, and I could probably give a decent memory of the vast majority of them. But there's no way that I would struggle to. I'd have to look at a map to remember what countries I've been in. You know. Yeah.
Well, see, but I had the distinct advantage of being stationed in Germany, which is centrally located in Western Europe, and it's just it's easier to go to other countries in Europe than it is to go to states. Yeah, it's amazing. It was like a 20-minute drive to Luxembourg from my house. It was about a 30-minute drive to Belgium, probably about a 45-minute drive to France. It was about an hour drive to the Netherlands. Yeah. I mean, it was amazing.
You're in K-Town, huh?
Near there. I was actually at Spangdahlem.
Spangdahlem, okay. I was in Baumholder.
Okay, right on. Yeah.
All right, now it's my turn to feel left out because I've never been stationed there. I was there for 23 hours and I remember about 3 of them. So there's that. Yeah. I remember the C5, the pilot of the C5 was like, well, if it's cold enough, we'll go ahead and just fly straight into Charleston. But if not, we're going to have to stop at Goose Bay. And I was like, if you're making flight plan decisions based on like a 3-degree difference, just fucking take the short flight, dude. Right. And of course we get on the plane. Yeah, we're going to Goose Bay. And I was like, cool, I've never been to Canada. We've split all the way to Charleston. Fucking lying prick. Yeah. Not to mention I still smoked at the time and I was like hankering for a damn. I mean, we eventually figured it out because there's in a C5 there's a big area where that's the AC room, the air conditioning room, and it's got a bunch of other shit in there too. But that's pretty much what we go in there for. And at one point the flight engineer comes up and he's like, "Hey, any E&E troops up here were having a problem with the AC. And I was like, right here. I was like, okay, just come on back here. And I was like, hold on. I'd never worked on a C5 before. I'd only ever worked on F-16s. But I grabbed my cigarettes and went back there. And as soon as I got back there, the flight engineer lit up and I lit up. And he goes, so do you know what's wrong? And I was like, well, I only know how to fix one thing on this plane. And I grabbed a fire extinguisher and I smacked it against the turbine. And it heard it and it started spinning again. And I was like, oh, shit, fixed it. Cool. He was like, well, you burned your cigarette.
Well done, sir. Well done.
It's like the only thing I could possibly think of on that damn jet. Yeah, that's totally not in the AFI or the TO or anything. Well, it used to be. And then they took it out because they started shelling out turbines. You smack it a few times, and all of a sudden, this thing that's on air bearings doesn't want to keep spinning when you start smacking it around in the middle case. Weird.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey man, is there anything else we need to touch on tonight before we call it a show and do some post show?
Nah, man. I think that's it. Other than finding out where people can find out more about our guests.
What? Is that a thing? Is that a thing we do?
It is, man. If people want to find out more about you guys, Eric and David, about you guys personally, or possibly more importantly, more about Remedy Alpine, where might they go on the internet for that?
AKA, Eric, have you finished the website?
The website is 95% done. It is going to be rolling off the showroom floor by next weekend, but it is remedyalpine.org. We also have a email account set up so you can get a hold of us at remedyalpine@gmail.com.
And we have a Facebook page. You can find us on Facebook at Remedy Alpine. And we have an Instagram account, I think that's Remedy_Alpine. That's what we've got going on right now.
So you said it was remedyalpine.org. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So I'm going to put this into the chat. Oh, wait. It auto-corrected into putting a space in there.
Yeah, great way to auto-correct a space in there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Blame it on the autocorrect.
I encourage people to go to this site. There's not anything there at the moment, but I want everyone to bookmark it. And then next week, hopefully, everything will be up and running. And I want everyone to let Eric know what they think about the site. Even if you are not a veteran or not in Alaska at this time, I still want everyone to check it out. Up the views.
Actually, it's especially if you are not in Alaska and are a veteran. Go check this out. And I mean, what they want to do is they want to take it at least nationwide. So if you're not in Alaska and you check it out and you like what you see, then shit, let's get to talking.
Exactly. And I was gonna add as well, if you're not a veteran, you know a veteran, pass this on, share it on social media, email it to your cousin or your uncle or whoever it is that's served in the military. Might be something that they're interested in. Definitely help these guys promote this awesome program.
Yeah. And personal links, anybody can find you on the old Twitters or anything?
Yeah, I don't know what my Twitter is.
So we're gonna wait for his wife to text him his Twitter.
She probably does. What a jackass! Yeah.
Eric, are you on social media?
Like everybody else, I've got a Facebook account, so you can go to look me up, Eric Collier. Pretty simple.
That's not as common as it was about 2 weeks ago, though.
Yes.
As my kids tell me, that's what old people do.
Facebook.
So, at Dave Joslin, DAVJOSLIN.
There we go.
At Dave Joslin on Twitter.
At first last. Wow, I wish I could get that.
That's so military.
Yeah.
I could barely get my pseudonym, let alone my real name. And the person whose real name is my pseudonym has contacted me over the years a few times and been like, motherfucker. But guess what? I got it first. Too bad. You know what? How awesome would it be if the person that has at Anthony Lemos that's their pseudonym and their name is actually like John Smith and they couldn't get that, so they just made some shit up?
That would be fantastic. I'd love to hear that story. He needs to come on the show.
I should find out. Hey, one thing that I want to ask everybody real quick. We need a call to action because we don't ask our audience to do a whole lot. Except donate money and watch the show and download the show. Okay, so just one more thing that we're going to add to the slate. That we're going if you have Twitter, if you're listening to this right now, I want you to immediately after I tell you what to do, pause it and then do it. I want you to go on Twitter at Sarithia, SARIETHIA. Tweet her. Just tweet her anything. I mean, be nice. It's my wife. But she was wondering if anybody watched episode 143 that she was on, and if they liked her being on the show. Now I have, of course I've got diabolical interest in this, but go ahead and tweet her at Sarithia, SARIETHIA. God, it's hard to remember even for me, and I'm only like 2 Dr. Peppers deep. Tweet her anything. Just tweet her just randomness because she doesn't use her Twitter at all, but it still alerts her phone. So go make do and have fun with it, and just let her know that that you watched episode 143 and that you thought she was awesome and you'd like to see more of her on the on this or other podcast endeavors that I might have planned. And yeah, links are in the places. Links.
Yes, they are.
What are your links, Kent?
My links, I am RM_Del Noche on Twitter. That's the main hub for the stuff that I do. If you're interested in finding me anywhere else on the internet, Del Noche or Del Noche 77 is probably me. So hit me up. What about you, dude?
At Ethan Kane, ETHANCAINE. I'm not Ethan Kane. You can find the real Ethan Kane. It's real_Ethan_Kane or something like that. I don't know. Go and tweet the hell out of him. I'm at Ethan Kane on the Twitter. Don't worry about Facebook. I'm deleting my shit soon anyway. I'm already in the white walling group. And you can find the show at Ritual Misery, RITUALMAMI. God. RIT.
Ritual Misery.
Yeah, the words. RITUALMISERY. It's like Mickey Mouse or something. At Mickey Mouse on Twitter. And you can go to ritualmisery.com. Should I hit the music yet? Holy shit, I feel like I'm screwing things up. So I hit the music. You can go buy do stuff, ritualmisery.reddit.com, and live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific on diamondclub.tv and twitch.com/ritualmisery. Thank you, Kevin McLeod, for allowing us to use your music. For me, for these dudes, for Kent, this has been your Ritual Misery podcast.
See ya.
And the sounder went out because, well, it went out to the masses, but it didn't play because I had disconnected that sounder to go to the other mic that hooked up halfway through the show.
I was about to do the old school one. Was Ritual Misery hopes you've enjoyed this podcast.
Let's play it here just for old time's sake.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
In case you were we were watching live and you didn't get a chance to listen to it, and you really miss it.
Cool.